Welcome to Big Blend Radio with your hosts Lisa and Nancy, editors of BigBlendMagazine.com.
Hey everybody, welcome to Big Blend Radio. We're super excited to welcome back two of our good friends, Mr. and Mrs. Wild of Asheville, North Carolina. So we're talking about Karen and Steve Wilson, and they own and run the Lion and the Rose Bed and Breakfast in Asheville in the historic Munford district. And you've got to go there. We met them last year on our road trip up to Pennsylvania from Florida. We had a little detour and then we suddenly met them. And life has never been the same since we met them. And literally, they greeted us with a beer as we drove into the B&B. Well, not into it.
Into it, literally.
Well, no, we didn't drive into it. I could have, but I didn't. But I parked.
You wouldn't be the first one.
I know. I know.
Oh, geez.
But listen, this is a beautiful historic Victorian bed and breakfast. It's a pink lady. And we met them. We had a beer. Steve actually brews the beer because, we're talking about Beer City. This is America's Beer City. And Steve is a beer maker and he brews beer. And when you check in to the Lion and the Rose, you'll be offered a beer. And of course, what did Nancy and I do? Say, yes, please. And then we sat and talked their ears off for like hours. And we all became friends. And then somehow kept going back to Asheville. Something just kept happening. And every time we go to Asheville, we meet up with them. And then somehow we ended up sitting for them because we thought, why not? Let's find out what that's about. But anyway, welcome, Steve and Karen. How are you guys doing? We miss you. It's been like a few days. Or a few weeks, I should say.
We miss y'all too.
I know.
Yeah, we've been doing good.
Listen, this is insane.
Yeah, we're good. Keeping busy.
I bet.
You guys run an amazing inn and 5 rooms. I know there's I can tell everybody every inch of the inn, but really it is an amazing inn, and we've connected since when we first met you last year. And every time, and I don't know Asheville is one of those towns that you just keep circling back around through. And every time we're like, let's go see Steve and Karen. Let's go have a beer, whether it's at your place or outside of the inn. And as you know, we during COVID started pet sitting and house sitting across the country. And Karen, you texted us while we were in Salt Lake City taking care of a tortoise, bunnies, and guinea pigs, and said, "Are you having wine time? Why not pet sit? No, not pet sit, but in sit for us and pet sit.
Yep,
both.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
take it to the next level, right?
Take it to
right.
Do you wish you did that too? Like, because this is something that a lot of people, I think, are looking in second and third. Nancy and I stayed in 30 inns across the country over the last couple of years. It was one of the safest, as you're traveling, one of the safest places to stay with COVID and et cetera. And also you want to support small businesses. And anyway, we did a lot of bed and breakfast and pet sitting, a lot of pet sits too. But you guys, understanding what a bed and breakfast goes through, and a lot of the innkeepers we met are actually, some have already swapped hands since we've started, but it seems to be that this is a second or third endeavor for couples, like they want to do a business together, and this is one that happened, and it seems to be like that for you both, that hey, let's do this. We want to get out of corporate America or whatever industry we're in and do something. And a lot of it seemed to happen right before COVID and during COVID. Same with you guys.
Yeah.
We were like a year before, I'd say, when we got into it, after kind of by necessity, after I lost my job, had to do something.
Yeah, we figured time for the next adventure is what we said.
Well, okay, but you
know
guys,
what? It's so good to like be the person in control of your own life as opposed to working for other people where you're not
Exactly.
really in control. So, I mean, sometimes it's a harsh awakening when you've been at a job for several years and then somebody pulls a plug for whatever reason. And then, you know, the reality grows on you. Hey, wait a minute. You know, I'd like to be in control of my own ship, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly how we were feeling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, Steve, you were saying, you know, moving out of your earlier job or career, you guys were both in IT, right?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, we did IT for, gosh, I did it for, some 35 years, I guess.
Oh, wow.
And Karen was in it since, I don't know, about 15, 20 years at least.
Wow.
Maybe longer.
Wow.
You guys are so
Off and
smart.
on.
What do you think, Karen, going from IT into doing B&Bing, did you take any qualities from that work to what you were doing there into the B&B experience?
I think so, because I was always doing tech support, so it was a little of everything. Everybody would say jack of all trades, so I was always doing multiple projects, multitasking. I mean, as you know, the entails a lot of different duties and chores, so it's kind of like running around and multitasking, prioritizing. So similar kind of thing, I think.
I think the key, huge, and the biggest thing is customer service.
I agree.
Massive. Nancy and I have, you know, since we've seen you, been on the road and stayed in hotels lately, and some have been great, and some were like, "Hello," you know, you and having
Lisa got locked in the bathroom.
I got, you know, I did.
No, boy, do we want to ask about that one?
Well, I also got
I wonder how
locked.
that happened.
Okay, so we're in this one hotel. I got locked in the bathroom.
She got
and
locked
she had to
in
let
too.
me out. And then
that was the
she
next
got
morning.
Locked, and then she got locked in the bathroom. I had to let her out because second nature is to close the door. Even though after the first experience, you know, don't close the door. You're going to get locked in. And then we thought, well, what if the other person went out and drove somewhere and you went in the bathroom and closed and locked yourself in? I mean, seriously,
Sure.
There's no window.
Sure hope you brought a book with you.
I know.
No, this is a tiny little bathroom with no vent. And if you shower, you're in a sauna.
One of our friends said that's why he always takes an axe into an unknown bathroom.
Thanks, Jim, on Facebook. But no, but this was interesting because we went through a series of bad incidences in this particular hotel. And I went to actually talk to the desk clerk and eventually got to the owner, who originally put me in the wrong room and blamed the booking agency. We won't go through the whole thing, but Nancy was like, remember your experience at the inn. Don't be an idiot. You've done it. You've cleaned the rooms. You know how bad it is. You know, it's hard work. You don't want to be one of those. And this was lack of customer service, and it brought it full circle. So I'm so glad we're doing this conversation with you now, having been on two sides recently. And the bed and breakfast, you can talk to the owner. You guys, you know, when we insat for you trained us, right? We shadowed you. And even still, when you walked away, we're like, Mommy and Daddy are walking away. But we did good. We did good. You trained us well. And it was really about, you said it's about the connection with the guests. And it really was about that. It is about the connection. And this particular hotel, I mean, it's funny that it was just a few days ago from when we're recording this. I was just like, oh my God, go in. You don't want this to be negative. You know that this was an independent hotel, and the customer service basically was not there.
There's none.
And And I was like, wow, this would not happen at Steve and Karen's. It would not happen at any innkeeper place that we've known over all the 30, right? And I'm like, wow, this is amazing how people can check out and not actually hear or listen or understand. And I think, Steve, if I texted you while we were there saying I'm stuck in the bathroom, you would have been there. I think
yeah.
You would have busted us out.
Of course.
But I don't think we would have had the stuck in the bathroom incident.
That wouldn't happen.
But there's all kinds of things that happen, but it's the customer service that gets you hugely through that. So your innkeeping and IT go hand in hand. What led you guys to say, let's do an inn together? I mean, actually run a business together as a husband and wife, because like Nancy and our mother-daughter, and let me tell you, we have our moments of being mother-daughter, like, you know what?
Only when you're being a boon.
Excuse me. But we have our moments, but you say, okay, husband and wife, we're going to run a business, and then we're going to do innkeeping, which is, out in public. And we're going to do this. So what was it that led you to be that connected, and do an actual customer oriented?
Well, we met from working together, so we know we make a good team working together. So we don't have that problem. Like some husband wife might have that issue. We work real well as a team. So that wasn't a problem worrying about that. And then we just looked at our options of what we might do as a business. We toyed with the idea of a brew pub just because of the beer, of course. But we wanted something a little bit more, less risky, I should say. So we looked at the bed and breakfast just because that's the way we like to travel. Our very first stay in a bed and breakfast was our wedding night. So just a lot of things kind of led to that idea.
That's what I was going to say. So when you guys, your first wedding night was in a bed and breakfast in Key West.
Your first wedding night?
Well, you're okay, Nancy, stop. Yes, your wedding night. Sorry, did you have more than one? Sorry, no. But your wedding night was in a B&B in Key West, and then 20 years. Yes. I mean, you just celebrated your 20-year anniversary, and congratulations, you guys.
Yes, thank you.
20 years later, you guys are running a B&B, and it's 2 years for you guys. Got some number stuff going on. Just saying.
We think it's pretty cool, and that's we have our wedding picture in our front parlor, and a lot of people will look at it and kind of look at it again and say, "Is that here?" Like they really think that this same front porch, and it kind of looks the same. It's kind of eerie that way.
And the fact that you haven't aged a bit. Like seriously.
Stop.
No, I'm looking at you. I'm like, what the hell, Karen?
I'm blushing through the phone.
Give me some of that. It's gonna be Steve's beer. Steve is helping you with the beer. I don't know.
It's magic beer. There you go.
It could be the beer.
It's the magic beer. It's the magic beer.
It's like the young beer. Drink it and get younger.
But honestly, thank you guys for trusting us with your B&B for 3 nights. Everyone I know that knows that we did this, we're like, this is a cool opportunity. But then I got that's a hell of a lot of work. Yes.
We tried to make it simple enough for you, though. We tried. I think with the training that really helped everybody feel comfortable.
Yeah. And I think a lot of your guests knew what was happening and everything, but they
were cool.
People
they were nice
coming into it. I would think there should be some kind of program for innkeepers, because I know a lot of people are looking at doing this, that there should be this kind of program. Like they should do this as part of their, I want to be an innkeeper. Well, then go to innkeeper school, but do it real.
Like an apprentice or something.
Because we learned from you guys and you taught us. And honestly, you guys are the cleaning is real. Can I talk about that? The cleaning is real. The cleaning it's not like, again, going back to the other hotel where we got locked in the bathroom. I can now tell and I've had training before, but like now I can tell about beds, the linens. I turn the linen over. I'm like, yep, that's okay. And I can say this last hotel that was bad and all the things, but you know what? The linens were clean. I told Nancy, I was like, and that's the only good review it got, was the linens were clean. So,
well, that's a big one though. That's a really big one.
That's huge.
Yeah, it is.
That is huge.
It
If
is
the
a
linens
big
are
one.
clean.
Yeah, that is huge.
Yeah, that was a big deal. So, I think that's a big deal. But you guys really, the cleaning part, please touch on that, because I know people are nervous traveling now, even still, because COVID's up and down and all around. Karen, tell us a little bit about like that procedure. You guys go in, and even how you have to fold the bedspread is like, this is how you have to do it according to the health thingy dingy, whatever. But like,
well, that's it. We follow all the health department rules, and since COVID, obviously, there's been more sanitation that we need to do. That part, I'd say, is a good part. I mean, there's no reason to keep doing that. I mean, keep continuing all the good things we got out of that. There's certain other tips and tricks we picked up from that. So I think that helps everything be more efficient and more clean and sanitized and all of that.
Yeah, and you sent me emails like, okay, here's your tips and tricks on this, and I'm like, I'm listening, because I'm out and running around. I'm like, I get it. We got to, because you have to clean the rooms in time for the check-in, and that's a big deal. Like, you've got breakfast. Nancy had to put out breakfast in time for everybody to sit down at 9 a.m.
The first day I went up there after watching Steve and knowing, okay, I got that in my brain. I got it. But when the first day I just stood in the kitchen like deer in the headlights, like, what am I supposed to do?
That was our first day. That was our first day on the job too. We were the same way,
It's
thinking,
like,
oh, we got this handled. And then as soon as you're on your own, you're kind of like,
babies. Yeah.
And then Lisa goes, you're supposed to cook. I'm like, oh yeah.
What the hell do you mean?
And then I heard people coming, and I'm like, holy crap.
The first time I had to flip 8 eggs, boy, I was sweating.
Once 8 eggs at once? Oh my God.
Once I started, then I was okay. And except for the baking powder.
No, Nancy's doing a twirl around. Like I did the because here's everybody. Listen, the Lion and the Rose bed and breakfast is in the heart of the Munford district. It's a very historic section of Asheville, North Carolina. It is beautiful, and even bears roam the streets there. No kidding. And when we first got there, we couldn't believe this mansion, right? And the history that's attached to it. And then you wake up in the morning, there's breakfast. And the first day we got that first night, like I said, we talked, Steve and Karen's ear off, but we talked about wildlife, and they've traveled the entire world looking at wildlife and seeking wildlife like Nancy and I, but they've been everywhere, like literally. And that's why they're called Mr. and Mrs. Wild. They know about all the nature spots you want to go to. If you are looking at the Parkway, the Blue Ridge Parkway, Smoky Mountain National Park, all that, they are like, if you're into animals and nature, they know it. And so the first night we sat there, and I think all the restaurants were, COVID time. There was no food. Everything closed down around us, but we had avocados in our backpack. You didn't know, right?
Nope.
We had food. And they're probably cleaning the room the next day going, God damn, what did they do with avocados in the room? But I know, but we really, it was meeting you, but we met you first thing in the morning to film Steve making his strudel French toast. And by the way, that was one of that and the ham and egg cups. And that's strudel French toast was one of the hugest hits when we were there and sitting in sitting. Steve, that recipe apparently hits home for everybody with that French toast. And we filmed, I remember it was like 5 or 6 in the morning. We had to go down and do that. And even my shirt was inside out. I didn't know who I was.
That's right.
I remember that going, oh, now I know I don't
Hello.
feel normal. My shirt's inside out. Who cares? But Steve, I mean, you guys have had to like learn. You have a thing on your fridge. You've had to learn, like, you have to balance everybody's, like, like me. I can't do tree nuts. Well, I'm gluten free and I'm vegan and I'm this and that. You're balancing this stuff. Nancy and I don't, Nancy, we don't even have the temperament for this, even saying
No,
it.
but it's handling people. And I'd probably handling's the wrong word. Somebody's going to go,
no,
you don't handle people.
Nancy, now you have gone into the politically incorrect word.
Well, what's another word? Dealing? That sounds bad.
Working with.
Dealing with
Catering
people.
too.
Working with people.
Yes.
Oh, helping people.
You don't handle people.
Serving.
Yeah, you do.
Serving people.
Serving. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
I don't want to say servicing.
No.
Yeah.
Oh
no.
I think that's the same as handling.
no. Stop.
Uh-oh.
Both of you. Stop
Handling?
now. No.
Yeah, handling.
You can't handle. See, this is the thing. Now that's a whole other thing. Being in the hospitality industry, you are not you can't, and even the media, well, we can do whatever we want and we just have to deal with the emails and the social media posts and say like whatever.
Oh, get
But
over it.
you know, but the reality is you want to make people be cozy and happy and enjoy their breakfast and so you
exactly.
but Steve, you're the kitchen person and the food person and but like I'm just gonna say you see how I did that, right? Karen bakes some mean brownies. Karen makes some mean brownies and she put wine.
The wine makes everybody happy.
Yes.
Yes.
You can't do it without wine. You have to have wine.
Yep.
You do.
Steve, have you always
wine make happy brownies, I guess.
I guess so.
Steve, have you always cooked?
What was that?
Have you always cooked?
Huh?
Have
I always cooked?
Yeah.
Nah, I just used to grill some stuff here and there, but the cooking part was just kind of like just for Karen and I would just throw something together real fast. But that's always kind of I never always liked doing it. It's kind of I like the challenge to it. And it's fun.
It's interesting how you guys
for me,
have
anyways.
divided
you're
up.
good at it. You're good at it.
You go
You
into
are.
this.
Thank you.
You are. You're really good at it.
Nancy learned things from you. And
Yeah.
I'm glad about it.
It's a lot of trial and error, so I could pass on all my error stuff that I've corrected on the Nancy.
Nancy learned stuff. She was like, I didn't know this. We could do this, and we did that. Okay, and then she's used it when we can. And I'm like, thank you, Nancy. This tastes so much better. And so I'm just saying, thank you, Steve.
Well, no.
Oh, sure.
But it's not happened on my side apparently. But I do make everybody's beds a lot better. And I do clean a lot better. I was on the cleaning side and
I thank you for that, Steve.
I am good at the cleaning. And listen, and I have learned so much about cleaning rooms, bathrooms, kitchens. I've learned so much more. Honestly, I mean, because the time I had was it pre-COVID, way back, like kid time, 20s. Oh God, let's not even go there. But this was like current and real and COVID times, and so it's like, holy crap, you got to be serious about this stuff, and it's you're in the pressure to run your inn for 3 nights. You have no idea. It's like we're going. This is Steve and Karen's place. And we were
confident. You had the biggest trait right up front, and that's the people skills. We knew you could learn everything else. I mean, that's what we did. So we knew you could too.
And you have the best dogs.
Everything else secondary.
Yeah. Well,
but thank you for that. But
thank you. But your guests.
we were so into it.
Yeah.
We were like, we're not letting the side down.
I think it was like this really cool thing for our side where you escaped from what we do on our daily, we work, what we do, we run radio, magazines, all that stuff. And when we did this, we said, we're not doing any of that. We had some of our basic social media stuff we had to do, but we really delved in because we're like, we cannot have anything interrupt this with guests or anything. This is 100%. And I want to say that your guests were absolutely amazing people. We had a mother and daughter. We had two couples that were vacationers. We had a preacher that was on a sabbatical. We had a medicinal teacher. I mean, we had these amazing people that we got to meet and spend beer time. I was like, oh, beer time. Oh, you get to have a beer. And I'm sorry, but we did let everybody have beer mimosas while you were gone. I told them the innkeepers away, so then we get to play. And I let people have beer mimosas every morning if they wanted them. And then we had the honeymooners. Like, come on, they get to have them. And then I thought as we left, I'm like, oh my God, they've been all having like mimosas, beer mimosas. Every morning.
I have an idea.
What happens when you guys come home and then, oh God, I set up something really bad. We didn't even taste your beer, Steve, because we were worried that like, oh God, we're giving beer mimosas.
What if it runs out?
What if it runs out?
Oh, that's why that keg went so fast.
I didn't do it.
I didn't even
taste it. We didn't even taste it. We were so, I mean, it was like, how we love your beer.
So
Nancy and I didn't
I
even
have
taste
an
it.
idea. Since we ran your establishment, why don't you run ours?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
You're IT people. You could run a website.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh.
Would that be fun?
Ooh. Oh.
Yeah, I could do that, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
my God.
Yeah.
I
think we could do it.
Yeah, I think you could do it. You can run radio shows. You can do it. You can do it.
yeah, you can run a radio show.
Yeah.
As long as I don't do it to Asheville to Texas in one night.
Yeah, it's more of the driving. That's it.
You don't have to do any of the driving.
You don't have to drive.
You don't have to drive. We'll be nice. You don't have to do what we do.
Okay.
But just drive cross country instead of Dallas.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll figure something. We can do this. We're coming to Asheville. This is probably going to air while we're in Asheville. So that will possibly happen. But you guys, the work. Are you glad that you did that? I know you're going to say yes because everyone's listening, but like, I mean, seriously. Each one of you, tell me one cool thing about why you do this. So let's start with you, Steve. I mean, listen, those ham and egg cups, number one from the guest side. Just saying, I want them. I want one now. But anyway,
you have to wait till Sunday.
Sausage Day is when? Is it always Wednesday or does it change?
It's Wednesdays. Is sausage.
Sausage Day is Sunday.
Oh, it's always Sunday.
Always Sunday, but then some certain other days, yeah.
See, we always thought it was a Wednesday. Sausage
Yeah, we thought
Day.
it was Wednesday.
Oh.
So you get sausage 2 times a week.
Well, if you stay for a whole week, you get a whole bonus.
Yeah, it depends on how we do the food schedule. Sunday's the only day we ever keep the same, where we do the pancakes and the sausage, the handmade cheese cup, and then the beer mosa.
Beer mosa and
we had
sausage.
a couple from.
Go ahead.
We had a couple from Germany come by when we first started doing this, and they mentioned that, we do pancakes every Sunday. And I thought about it, and I go, yeah, my mom used to make pancakes every Sunday.
Yeah,
here.
That is a classic.
Yes, a special
Sunday thing. It's a Sunday special.
That's a special.
It's a
the
special.
sausage special. Sorry, I'm going back to Sausage Day. Listen, and when you make the sausages, when you're the innkeeper sitting in, you sing Sausage Day, and
you
then
do.
you hope that
Oh, you
guests
sing it to the
leave a little
dogs.
bit. You sing it for the dogs, Ozzy and
the
Oreo,
dogs
so they
love
know,
it.
and the cats, by the way, so they all know that, hey, sausage is coming. So like if you're a guest at the inn, if you feel like leaving a little smidgen of sausage for the dogs, just
And your
saying, you're
dogs are
giving one for the
so
pups. Giving
your
one for the
dogs are
pups.
so cute.
I know.
I'm
Ozzy
like,
and Oreo are their
they're
own rock
so-
stars. If you
Well,
follow
it's
Lion
Bob
and the Rose,
Newhart.
the Lion and the Rose on Instagram,
Actually,
God,
the dogs look like, one looks like Tina Fey and the other one looks like Bob Newhart.
oh God. Yeah, we've decided that Oreo is Bob Newhart. Oreo is 100%. We've gone back and forth on it, but we have decided Oreo is Bob Newhart. And
The
Ozzy
other one's
is in a
Tina
way Tina
Fey.
Fey, but not really. But yes, but
No,
But anyway, going back
Like you said,
go ahead.
I was going to say that they are like their own rock stars. They think that they're the center of the inn. They think they're,
they are.
they think they're the innkeepers that entertain everybody. We do have their own Instagram page for them. That's Beer City Inn Dog.
Cool.
See, and I
I'm
watch
going to
people
go on there
really want
and
to
talk
see.
to them.
While we were there, we watched guests want to see Ozzy and Oreo. They wanted the animal interaction, the pet interaction.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge thing. And I think when you're traveling, if your animals aren't with you, that you really miss them. So that's a big deal. But let's
we find that a lot.
Yeah. And do you allow dog? We didn't have any dogs while we were there, or people bring dogs. Do you allow dogs? Or should I ask them?
So we do like dog friendly weeks right now, where we do certain times, few times a year, because we've been playing with that idea, dog friendly, not dog friendly. But most of our guests do know now that we have dogs here. They can't wait to meet them. And most of them are actually where they have their own dogs at home. They just, some people say, I don't want the responsibility, or I know my dog won't behave. So they kind of like just coming and visiting with ours.
When you say hotels say pet friendly, right? Well, I have a pet tiger. Hello.
No.
No, seriously, when you say pet friendly as opposed to dog or cat friendly, like if somebody brings a cat,
nobody wants the cats in the hotel rooms,
which is way different than a dog. But what if somebody's just like, I have a pet alligator or I have a
goat? I know, you never know.
I know Steve likes goats. Steve,
when hotels say pet friendly, I'm like, well, what do you really mean by that?
Yeah, you have to be careful. I mean,
so you show up with a llama or like you can come up with a gorilla,
Well, the little puppy we're taking care of right now just sat up when you said llama, and I'm like, okay, you're not a llama.
But I've been talking to him a lot about South America because I think that's where he came from.
Oh, okay, maybe that's why he's just sitting up and he's got a one ear cocked, because he has a one ear up and one ear down. But Steve, we were talking about you guys, why bed and breakfast. Tell us a little bit for you, like what is it? What gives you joy of what you're doing now?
I enjoy the part where it's pretty much I'm under control. I like being in control of stuff, so I can control my own destiny. And I pretty much work almost every day of the year except for a couple weeks out of the year. So I really don't get many days off or anything, and it doesn't really bother me. I like working and I like being around the inn, and I do like meeting the interesting people and finding out about them and seeing what kind of things they do in their off time or on whatever when they're working. And there's a lot of interesting people that come that are here. So
do you feel good about your choice? Did you feel good about?
Yeah, I really do.
Change, because I think you're good in the kitchen, and that didn't sound right, but it is. You are good in the kitchen. You're good in the food, and fun. Your beer is good, and you know about what. No, when you said the first night we met you both, you knew knew and know all of where to go to see I know salamanders and everything, like what's going on throughout the park at the Great Smoky Mountain National Park, the most visited park in the country, right? I mean,
Yep, that's right.
And you can actually, and when we say that, I want people to know that you can find your place there. Don't be, it's not a zoo yet.
No,
but it
not.
can be. But it's not, because it's still so recluse and so big, and it shares Georgia and Tennessee and North Carolina, and it's Appalachia. So it's big. And the parkway.
You could be inside the park in about 30 minutes, depending on what part you're going to. I mean, when we go to look at the elk, it's about a 30-minute drive.
Yeah, wow. You guys hike and you do this, and you're always like, this is part of the perks of being an innkeeper is you make sure you know what breweries are open and doing stuff. You know very well. You're very good about that. You know about wineries. Was that Chimney Rock that you were just at? Chimney Rock Winery? And was it? I didn't know it was called Hickory Nuts. Is that right? Hickory Nuts?
Yeah, Hickory Nut Falls.
Yeah. Oh, Nut Falls. Okay, Hickory Nut Falls.
Yeah, Hickory Nut. Yep.
Okay, yeah. So that, I mean, that's one of the icons of the area, right? That people can go to.
Yeah.
And Biltmore Estate. You got the Biltmore Estate,
of course.
And all these amazing things. I mean, Asheville is a cool place to land. So Karen, for you, what makes you want to keep going with this? Because it's hard ass work. I'm just saying, Nancy and I just did this. It's hard. We're like, why the hell are they doing this? But actually, the guest to me made me want to keep doing it. And then by the time you came home, I'm like, I don't want, like, go back to your vacation. I got it now. Like, that's how I was. I was like, I got it now. Go home. Go back. Like, I want another week of this because I got it now. Yep. And I dig it. And then it was too late. But yeah.
Well, I'd say the connection with other people. I mean, you're meeting interesting people. It's always interesting to see what you have in common, trade travel stories, and just different things. It's just interesting to share stories with other people and find the similarities between you. And it's just fun finding that connection.
I think so too. And what about the history of the inn? Because the family of the inn too is something to be considered. I'd like to dig into that a little bit more through the years. We should do that. Because it seems like the Montfort district, it's gone through all kinds of changes and boarding homes at one time, and there's all I keep talking about the amazing cemetery behind you that I love. But you've got Thomas
Riverside
Wolfe.
Cemetery.
Yeah, Thomas Wolfe buried there. Oh, Henry. I mean, these are literary icons, and Zelda Fitzgerald around the corner was, that's where she got zapped in her brain. Sorry.
Hello.
Yep.
Truth.
I'm sure there's a better way to say that.
And where she died before she got zapped again. But I mean, it's interesting. Well, no, Nancy, we just listened to someone who just went to Asheville for mental health, in historically speaking, at the same kind of time as, oh God, I wish. And Nancy and I were like, oh, we were driving through the night. We're like, no way. We were listening to this whole thing. And this person went there for mental health, the same place in Montfort Historic District, to get zapped, the brain thing where they zap you. And I was like, no way. And it was the same place and time, and got zapped there. It was like some famous person. And I'm like, no way. You've got like down the road zapping quarters or something, but people went there. I know it sounds terrible, but people went there to get help. And
I know there's a lot of history.
There is. And I mean, it's not that is not what it is anymore, because it did burn down where, at one point, but it's there. But Asheville is just this hub of creativity. That's the other thing.
It is.
Like, hugely creative. The music, we've got musicians coming on our show, probably before or after this airs. That, I mean, it just seems like more music, the music thing,
definitely.
the beer, the music. So when you think of pre-COVID, when you guys, like, what made you settle with Asheville? Was it part of music? Like in that kind of scene?
No, actually music was not a consideration. We just wanted to be somewhere outdoors. We wanted to stay within North Carolina. So we wanted to be outdoors. I mean, that was the main draw.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you ended up in a music city, like, in a way.
I know it, and music has been, since we've got here, and you figure we've only been here 3 years, the scene is getting bigger, similar to the arts. So now you're just doing it with all the music and the food, the beer. I mean, so it's just, like you said, creative minds creating this very cool environment.
Wow. So what's for breakfast tomorrow?
Cinnamon roll casserole.
No.
Ooh.
Are you kidding me?
I want one. I want some.
And are you serious?
Yeah, that's one of the
Going on the
favorite
suite
ones.
tomorrow.
Are you
Yeah,
serious?
that's one of my favorites.
Do we get to have a beer mosa?
dude.
So if someone says, I want a beer mosa because I was an idiot and gave everybody a beer mosa when you're gone, I was just like, I wanted to make sure everyone was happy.
Yeah.
That would be good. That would be good with it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
And the more beer you give them, the happier they'll be.
That's right.
That's right. No, that's good. So what are you serving right now? What's the beer on tap?
We have the same one. We have the wheat beer, and we also have our ESB is on tap, the English style bitter, or extra special bitter.
Ooh,
Yeah, it's a little darker, a little maltier.
Yeah, extra special.
Gotta have the specials.
Extra special.
So okay, so now I'm gonna go at you before you go. I'm gonna get at you both. Okay.
Uh-oh.
So everyone, they have a Q&A that we sent them, 10 questions about running an inn. And it's a success story insider question. And number 8, the question is, if you could invite any 3 people, alive or passed on, to your breakfast table, who would they be? And they both said, no clue, laugh out loud. I'm calling BS on you both. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, what? You wouldn't want Jimi Hendrix at your table, like, or someone like that, or like
you have to have
Joey Ramone.
You have to have Mark Twain.
Yeah, I mean,
He'd be
you
the
don't have to have
perfect
any,
guest.
but how can you have no? You've got to.
There's just so many possibilities. It's hard to narrow that down.
Just do it.
And honestly, with the pressure of somebody that's like a celebrity, I don't know if I want that.
You don't have to. You could be
It
anybody.
doesn't have to be a celebrity.
You've got to have someone who's going to be there. Come on.
I nominate Mark Twain.
Because
I think
myself.
you guys would.
If you want,
I nominate myself to be there. Come on, you guys. Come on. 3 people at your table. It doesn't have to be a celebrity. It doesn't have to be any.
I can't come up with 3. I could tell you one. That's the top one that comes to my mind.
Okay. Go.
And that would be my grandmother.
Cool.
I like
Absolutely.
This. Your grandma.
And it would just be nice to have her see what we're doing now. It just, she's been gone for years, so, but it'd just be nice to have her sitting at the table seeing. She was an inspiration for, she was a good cook and always took good care of us. She was just the perfect type of person, a good example, and I just think she'd be proud of us.
Oh,
yeah,
I think
I'm
she would
sure.
Be. I know. I would be proud of her.
Okay, now
I
want to take my grandmother, my Nana, and because she's only 4'9", but she's a little British Spitfire. You put her hands on her hips and told my father where to go when he needed to be told where to go. And I would say you would have her at your inn and you'd be happy, and so would she.
Yeah. Nana would love you. Nana would love you. She would love you. She would love you both. Now, Steve, you've got now if Karen gave up one, You've got to give up one.
Well,
Come
Again,
on.
don't.
Come
You
on.
can't. You're not allowed.
I would say my mom, but she'd probably just yell at me.
Well, that's how moms are. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me on that.
Mhm.
No,
And
she'd
yeah,
probably be
raised-
proud still, but
I'm
anybody
sure
else,
she is.
3 people. I don't want to use the same answer with the grandparents or anything like that. I mean, I love my grandma and all
Don't
that.
matter. You can do it. You can do whatever you want. It's Big Blend Radio. We don't care. You
Yeah.
just, it's about
they'll look at-
happy.
That is a difficult question, though. Out of everything,
Really?
everything else
It
was
is.
an easy
Yeah, but
answer.
it's better than
honestly.
zero.
Yeah.
You got to have something.
Really?
I
better
thought
than
for
zero.
sure.
No.
Well,
I thought for sure Steve was going to struggle with the question of what else would he want to do if he could do a different job for a day. I'm like, mine was an easy answer. I wasn't sure what he'd say, and I'm like, I'm stuck on this question about breakfast, and I'm like, Steve, what do you think? He's like, I really don't know either.
So
Wow.
are you telling us that our questions are a pain in the ass?
Yeah.
No, just that one, because it was making us go, and we're like, oh, I really
come
am
it's
stumped on
done.
this.
I thought that would be the easiest. Let's have a party. Like that's to me. That would be like so cool.
Well, who's somebody you've
I mean,
always
it'd be
wanted to meet?
it'd be fun to jam with Hendrix, but I wouldn't want him spacing out of the breakfast table.
Oh,
But you're not okay.
Oh,
Okay,
come
let me put it
on.
this way: you have no guests, no regular guests in. But if everybody wants to be at the breakfast table with Hendrix, right? So come on.
True.
So do the Plastercaster sisters.
Okay, Jimmy can come.
no,
Jimmy
Jimmy can
is
come.
allowed.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, out of all, would you? Okay. Wait, Steve. This is important. If this is important, out of
Right.
all guitarists, would that be your pick of breakfast guests?
Oh, that's a hard question, I think.
Oh, that's mean. Now
Of
I
all?
got
Throw in
worse.
the hardball questions. Ooh,
Of all
Yeah,
guitarists?
yeah.
yeah.
Ooh,
Hmm.
nah.
Yeah, well, I like Neil Sean myself. I mean, I like to have him come on by, but
What about
he can come have
Stevie
breakfast
Ray?
too.
What about Stevie Ray?
Stevie Ray, yeah.
Yeah.
Stevie Ray,
Okay. Next,
be fun to
we're
jam
just
with, too.
searching about the Clapton thing. Like who likes the
Oh
Clapton or
no!
not?
Stop it!
I'm
Don't
just
even-
I'm just
no,
hovering
stop
and
it.
being one of
No,
those.
stop it!
No, I know. Okay.
No.
So okay,
No.
okay, we're good.
No.
We're good.
No.
Okay. So Karen,
There's a reason people
and
say you
listen,
got the clap.
listen, this is why we're having like a little heat now, is the fact that Karen and Steve are both music lovers, diehard, and Karen sings, Steve plays guitar. So we get into it. So let's just call this a rock and roll breakfast. How about that?
Ooh,
That works for me. That works for me.
So Karen,
cool.
I'm going to change the question. We've got
Oh,
Jimi
gosh.
Hendrix. Okay. So
Okay.
who are you bringing to the table other than Grandma can be there because Grandma will probably like it. You never know. I know my Nana, not my actually my grandmother would. She might start humping things. She's kind of gets a little hyper about music. So anyway, for you, who would you invite to a rock and roll breakfast you guys should do a rock and roll breakfast with beer mimosas. Like
That'd be
honestly, chicken and waffles, the waffle thing, but you gotta have chicken and waffles. Like seriously. Yeah, I'm starting to think you guys have to have a rock and roll breakfast. But Karen,
That would be cool.
I know
Yeah, it would
Steve's
be.
like, thank you so much.
He's like, shut.
Everyone, lion-rose.com while we wait for Karen's answer of who she would invite to a rock and roll breakfast.
No,
Wow.
that's difficult because there's so many choices. I mean, we love music, so I mean, anybody and everybody would be welcome at the table. It'd be fun, but
I know. Think about it. You have this one opportunity to sit down at breakfast with someone really cool that's inspired you musically. That one opportunity. Oh, she's gonna yell at me later. I know. I'm gonna get a text message like, "You suck, Lisa." Oh, come on. It's just for fun.
I know it is. Geez, I don't know.
Wow.
I guess inspiration, I'm trying to think, okay, thinking back to what was inspiring music, growing up and made me want to be in chorus and show choir and that whole 9 yards.
Wow.
I would probably say Lita Ford. Lita Ford.
Really badass. Like she was a
Oh,
badass. Like seriously,
Exactly.
she was one of those that was a pioneer for women, like in music and rock and roll.
Exactly.
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay. You rock, lady.
So
Yes.
there you go. You got it. I
Lita
had to think a
Ford.
little bit about it, but I got it.
That's
no, you
cool.
got it. Don't matter. You got it. You got no. No, because Lita Ford was one of the people in the beginning of like if you think about I'm gonna say 80s, right? Like
Yep. 80s, yep.
who said like I'm trying not to get the signals visually. It's a good thing we're not on Zoom, right? But yeah, you guys, we got it. No, Lita Ford really opened up doors for women in music.
Definitely.
And stood up for women in so many other ways. She did so much. So I love it. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Listen, we've got an
you.
awesome Q&A up on blendradioandtv.com that you can read. We gave Steve and Karen the 10 questions. And so we might have to alter that one that's up there about, laugh out loud. And I'm like, laugh out loud to you. We got it. Okay, so on that, about the 3 people that would be alive or passed on. I don't think we got to 3, but we'll get there at some point.
Oh, I got one more for you.
Okay, cool.
Steve Irwin.
Steve Irwin.
Oh, wow.
Right
Yes,
on.
absolutely. There you go. I agree with that 100%. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Crocodile man.
Yeah.
We went to Australia specifically. One of our stops had to be Australia Zoo, and that unfortunately was right after he passed, I think, right?
Yeah.
No, it was before.
It was right before. Yeah.
Okay.
But that was like inspiration on the wildlife. Yeah.
You guys are so
That's so
Mr.
cool.
and Mrs. Wild for sure.
I love that. I love that.
But their kids have really continued on.
Yes, they have.
In regards to conservation, and his son has been doing a lot too. So it's really awesome to see that, in regards to understanding what's going on with wildlife and protecting wildlife. One thing I want to say about Asheville is, we were pet sitting at some point and we saw a bear in the backyard, which was cool. It has a collar on it and everything, and we're like, wow, what's that about? So this happens in Asheville, and people should kind of recognize that these collars are on for being watched and protected. That like don't mess with the bears is what I'm saying. Like
they're not somebody's pet.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I'm just saying, because it is a shock when you first see them. And so you understand that they are around the streets. I mean, I was talking to a friend, Brian, we're coming to Asheville. He's like, oh, watch for bears. I'm like, what? And he was really right. He was actually really talking about the parkway. Just be careful driving on the, because of bears at this time of year. And we did see them in the backyard. And I know you've had some experiences too. So it's really cool to see bears, but don't mess with them. Awesome. Don't get too close. Just let them be, let them move on, because we're in their way. Right. And so,
they're still wild animals.
Always wild.
It's funny, when I took 3 tours to Africa, and it was amazing to me how Americans don't get it. I don't know if it's TV or what, but they figure if you take them there, that they can go try to pet a lion in the wild. And you're like, could you please get back in the car? Like, no, you don't do that. There's this thing of, if somebody takes you somewhere, that they can do whatever they want, and common sense goes right out the window. And I felt like I was taking 3-year-olds
Oh,
And they were, I have to say, I took 3 tours to Kenya and they were all school teachers, which freaked me out because there was no
wow.
common sense anywhere. They thought they could get out, they could go feed a tuna sandwich to the lions.
That's book smart. It's book smart. It's book smart. It's book smarts versus going and you
No, it
helped them.
was like so weird.
But you helped them, which is great.
Yeah, I did help them in
That's
a lot
great.
of different languages.
Oh, well, there you go. You guys, thank you. I know that I know you have to run upstairs. I know the run upstairs duty.
Yeah.
You guys, thank you so much for everything. You
Oh,
let us
sure.
know. Thank you for number one, an amazing stay.
No, thank you.
The very first night we stayed with you guys
Oh, so
at
awesome.
the Lion and the Rose bed and breakfast. Who knew that we'd keep circling around Asheville again? Who frigging knew that it would just keep happening, and it's happening again in December. So it's one of those things, but you guys have been hospitable, and even though we've stayed in different places and pet sit and everything, has come have a beer, and we do, and we've gone out to different places with you, and you guys are the epitome of hospitality and being real.
You got it.
Not fakey, like, oh, la 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 la, come to the B&B. You're real down. No, I mean it. No, people want that when they travel. They really want the real deal. You go up the steps, you'll have a beer, you'll have a real experience. And honestly, I'm going to tell you, you attract the best guests. When we were there taking care of your inn, we couldn't have made it work if it wasn't for the right guests, and you attract the right guests because you're the right people in the right place at the right time. And so I'm just saying, we had the best experience. It was hard. You have up, downstairs. And after we've been, behind the computers, I was like, holy crap, I got to get some cardio going. I'm fat and I got to get my buttski up there. I learned so much. And the people, the buttskis, it's all about the buttski.
Watch it, Ozzy.
I know Ozzy's got the buttski, but you guys and the people that we were there with, thank you all for letting us serve you while you were there at the Lion and the Rose. Thank you. We appreciated you so much, and your stories and the connectivity we had was amazing. We learned so much from your guests, and I really believe that's really the joy for you guys too.
It is
who you connect with. I mean, I couldn't believe the different people that came in and their stories and who they were, and you just want the best for them. And like the honeymooners, you want every little thing to be the most perfect thing for them. You want everything.
Exactly.
One of your guests gave us a book he wrote.
Oh yes, the pastor.
Yeah.
See, that is so sweet. Oh.
And it's a really good book, I have to say.
Oh, by the way, yes, we'll have him on the show.
Yes, we're going to have him on the show. I'm 3/4 of the way through.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a good book.
Good.
No, we've had the connectivity that comes through. It's like unbelievable. We had a friend, Andrea. Well, we still have a friend, Andrea, and she's retired from being an innkeeper, and we used to stay with her all the time out in San Diego. She had an inn, a bed and breakfast on an organic farm in Fallbrook, and she said, I have the world at my table.
Yeah.
And
that's perfectly said. Wow.
Yeah.
I think we experienced that. And it's one thing to be a guest, and we've done it as a guest, but being responsible, it's the same thing as in sitting and pet sitting. There's something about having the responsibility that is so cool. It really is.
Yeah, I agree.
It is amazing. So thank you both for trusting us, and thank you everybody that was there at the inn while we were there. Thank you for trusting us. And I know you like Nancy's ham and egg cups, and Steve has an awesome recipe we're going to try and wrangle out of him. So everybody go to lion-rose.com and keep up with us on bigblendradio.com. And we'll be posting up their 10 answers very soon. So check it out. So thank you guys for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, thank
Take
you.
care. Take care.
Yeah,
you too.
You
We'll see you
too.
later.
Talk to you soon.